Hello.
Well, hello.
How's it going?
Oh, fine. I accidentally got in a good nap.
Me too. Dude, I fell asleep at like 4 o'clock.
That's right around when I fell asleep.
Huh.
I just sit down and started cruising on my phone and was like, fell asleep.
We went fishing today, as promised yesterday when I was talking about it at the track. And yeah, Emerson had to be to work at 4, so we hustled home, got home at like 3:30. I sat in the couch or the chair and I'm like, hey, I'm just going to sit here and watch some TV for a little bit. And the next thing I know, it was like 5:30 something.
It's like you turn the TV on, just go.
Kind of. That's kind of what it felt like. That's pretty odd for me too. I don't normally take daytime naps, so. But I don't know. I guess I needed it.
I'm a nap guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it or not, or want them or not.
There's nothing wrong with a good nap. That's for sure.
Yeah. And when I'm down, nothing will wake me up either. It's like I have 10 alarms and an alarm clock. I have my phone and an alarm clock in the morning to wake me up.
I had the race is over, so I last night I kind of was able to relax. I went out to eat with Medelson, and we got to Texas Roadhouse just in the nick of time. And yeah. I actually got there. They closed at 10, but I got there at 9:45. They had the front doors locked, so I had to be lit in. So then I kind of felt bad. I'm like, God, I hope our food comes out okay.
Yeah.
You know, that whole don't be that guy that's there 5 minutes before close thing to eat.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of us. So
yeah,
no, okay, well, whatever.
That was late. I stopped and ended up I was trying to get home because I didn't want to try to put my camper away and everything when it was dark. And Brian and the guy, the KC guys, they're all going to Outback. And I wanted to go, but I was I just don't think I got time to do it.
Yeah.
Or I don't know where I'll park my truck and camper and stuff on the way. Yeah. And then Brian was like, well, I can just bring you back here. It's still, it's going to be I lose a half hour and just drive in there and then probably be there for an hour and a half. And I didn't want to leave at 9. I hadn't been home in a while. So
yeah.
I ended up just stopping at Hooters on my way home with the Sheffields. So that was pretty cool.
I was on my scooter, so
yeah.
I think that's the fastest I've ever ridden my scooter across town was to try to get there before 10. So that was pretty close, pretty tough.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I feel pretty well recovered overall from the weekend. I didn't sleep a wink. I could not sleep Tuesday night and Wednesday night, or was it Wednesday night and Thursday night? I couldn't sleep. It was terrible. I kept waking up every hour. I was worried about something. I don't even know what I was worried about anymore. But I think once we got running again, once we got practicing and racing for real, I think that night when I went out and I fixed the whoops before they got bad, I think that made a load of worry disappear. So, and then I slept awesome Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah.
Able to wake up in the morning and actually think about stuff sort of. And Emerson and I were both doing really well in our races, so we actually wanted to get there on time and get some morning practice in. So I had a really crazy dream before we get into the race. I got to tell you about this. So this morning, I had a dream where there was. You ever seen the movie World of Worlds with Tom Cruise?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've seen the original one.
Yeah. So the movie visuals are pretty impressive with the aliens, right? And they're in those pods and they got the arms and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Well, in my dream, there was 2 of those and they were huge and they were marching across the city of Omaha. I live outside of the city, and you can kind of, if I look right, you can see the First National Tower, the top of it from where I live. And these towered over that thing. And they had these big red eyes, and they had like beams coming out of their eyes, and they were just destroying swaths of the city. But they were round, like like robot creatures, but they were. It was almost like a cartoon in a way, but they weren't cartoons, but they were real. And it's like I woke up in this dream I had. I woke up and I heard this noise and I went outside and I saw that and I was like, well, of course that's gonna happen. Like, okay, well, I guess it's survival now. And so then the rest of my dream was just me trying to survive from getting obliterated by these big marching, giant alien destroyer things destroying the city. Yeah. I ended up in a mall or something like that, and like hiding in a mall, like the basement of a mall or something.
That'd be cool.
It was great. So then I went fishing. So there you go. You got on TV.
Yeah, I got on TV.
We did it. We finally did it. I sent press releases out last week. I was like, this race is going to be another big one. There's going to be a lot of people here. Let's see if we can get the news there.
Yeah.
And one station out of 3 showed up.
Nice.
Yeah.
I guess that they got like telecast or like simulcast like all over.
Yeah.
Like.
So
where?
like that station. So Channel 7's part of like a conglomerate, I guess, of news. Well, Richard knows about this, right? Am I right about that? Aren't they owned by like a company that owns like all these different news stations across the?
Oh yeah, every news station is pretty much like that anymore.
Okay. See, there you go. And so apparently, Andrew's dad got like a text of, "Hey, we saw your thing on TV in Ohio, on their news station in Ohio."
Yeah.
So it's like they must have needed content or something, and they're like, and it was just like one of the, what do they call that when you need like a feel good story? Human interest
stories.
Yeah. So so there you go. You were all across the nation, Will.
Yeah, I was like, that's not good.
Tom did good too in his interview. They only used like a snippet of mine. I talked to him for like 5 minutes, and they used like the dumbest thing that I could have said.
Because you're like, yeah, we're like passing and stuff, and
you know what I could think of?
Our cars.
You know what I could think of when I kid you not that there's that viral video of that surfer that was like, and then we were like, yeah, and then we were like, whoa, and then we have like, blah. Like that's what I was thinking of as I was speaking that. I was like, oh Jesus, I'm doing that right now. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. And that's what they used. God, so stupid.
Yeah, they're like, it would have been funny if your like thing under your name said like guy with crazy hair or something like that. Local man with crazy hair.
Well, it's worse that it said store manager. It's like, that's the store manager? Oof.
Store manager. Oh, yeah. Mine is funny. It's semi-pro RC car driver. Well, Tom did pro.
Yeah.
And he was like, pro RC car driver. And I was like, all right, semi-pro RC car driver. That's always been kind of like a gag. Like, we're semi-pro.
We're semi-pro.
So, yeah.
Yeah. We pay them to be a pro. We just got a $5 chat from Peter Renault. It's been a month. It's been a month since we've been on. So.
Yeah. I was going to ask, like, with all the Canadian guys, they're literally wanting more internet money. So, like, we have to dedicate 30% of our podcast to Canada so Peter Renault can keep watching.
What?
You didn't hear about this?
No.
The Canadian Prime Minister is, like, saying that if your buddy down in the United States isn't being enough guy for Canada, like, and you have to give him so much Canada, like, you have to have, like, all podcast and internet money, like, coming in from the, like, podcasts and stuff have to be, like, Canadian related by 30%.
Whoa.
Peter, could you weigh in on this? Dude, I'm dead serious. It's a real thing. Richard, have you heard about this?
I have not.
Look,
I have not heard this.
Honestly, something like that wouldn't surprise me.
Dude, it's literally that episode of South Park
Yeah.
where they're wanting more internet money.
Canadian
We
internet
went, oh my.
money. Oh, see, now wait a minute. I put Canadian internet money, and the first thing that comes up is Department of Internet Money from South Park Archives. DIM.
Just look up like Canadian 30% podcast or something like that. Like it's like all internet like coming through there has to be like 30% Canadian.
Oh, look at Canadian 30. Oh wait, hold on. The CRTC presently requires that at least 55% of all programming aired annually by broadcast television news stations and at least 50% of programming aired daily from 6 p.m. to midnight must be Canadian.
Yeah. But it has to do with their internet too. So like Peter listening to our podcast, it has to be at least 30% Canadian content. So I should
Well, I
chug,
mean,
like,
if we have
a bottle.
if we have 3 viewers and he's one of them. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty funny.
Did Peter weigh in on it yet?
No, not yet. No. But here's a super chat. I'm building a new wheeler and hold on. I'm building a new wheeler right now. A 2D. What upgrades do I need to get? Team Associated 2D.
For like 13.5 4-wheel? Because Associate has that center drive shaft Plex system right now.
Oh, yeah.
They just came out with. That'd be a good one. Pretty much like when anybody wants to get it, like they ask me what upgrades to get, I'd get all the sway bars and all of the springs. After that, there's really not like a whole bunch of stuff to get other than like the light and drivetrain stuff, you know.
I asked Matt Olson a couple weeks ago to bring the mod stuff for our Emerson and ISTLRs with him. I forgot to tell him that we were running the Associated center diff though.
Oh.
So we had to like mix mash 2 different sets to get what we need.
Yeah.
But still worked. I like that thing in the center of my 4-wheeler. It makes it get up and go a little bit quicker.
Yeah. Oh, it's very noticeable. I ran one in mod.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the light and the weight savings.
Mm-hmm. Nuthouse dropped a 750 super chat. It's been a month since we've been on here, so
yeah.
It's this might pile up here in a little bit. It says great racing this weekend. Only saw a couple cars get tossed after the races. Aren't you proud of me? I didn't toss mine.
Oh yeah.
Even after mine was busted into 1,000 pieces.
Yeah.
That one wasn't even on purpose.
Mm-hmm. The Albricos though got it fixed up for you.
Yeah, I owe those guys a drink or something. I think maybe they were quick to help, A, because they're TLR, but also because last year I waited for him to get his 4-wheel fixed.
Yeah.
He owed me one.
Yeah.
You know? That's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do we want to talk about? There's that thing I saw at Keenan. I'm sure Keenan's going to talk about on his stuff, but how Roar dropped 4-wheel drive and mini truggy from the E-Nats.
Yeah, I saw that post for lack of entries.
Dude, who?
It's like what's
freaking cares?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but
like they could already do that whole event in one day if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
Like why not? Like they're already there. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Because like hardly any of the pro drivers take any of the electric classes seriously anymore. It's almost like it could be a lower tier event, or it could be or it could just be tacked onto the Nitro Nats. But the Nitro Nats is a little bit different animal because that thing is full.
Yeah.
Usually.
It usually gets full or close to full. Even when I was comp director, as of 2018, every year that the Nats came about, I mentioned, hey, we need to drop short course from even the 10 scale program. because especially the mod version would have like 4 or 5 entries every single year. That's it. And then 13.5 maybe, or 17.5, I mean, maybe even had, close to a full heat. But I mean, at least the mod version. And then I was like, well, why don't we just make it a 13.5 and call it good? Kind of like how we did. We kind of combined the two into one, but, and that would, most pro drivers wouldn't do that, but you might pick up a few, but they still just kept on trucking away with that class at the 10 skill Nats. And then they never really had, truggy at the Nats until I think last year. I think that was the first year they ever even had it. And I mean, realistically, only one company, Techno, makes a 4x4 mini truggy. I know out there they're going to be like, what about X-Ray and what about PR? Okay, yes, but realistically, the one that gets used the most is the Techno one. So you're making a nationals class for basically one truck,
Yeah.
So it was mainly brought on to help populate the E-Nats because it was having such a struggle bus getting E-Truggy and E-Buggy to fill up every single year. So that now they're adding 40 plus. Now they're adding, we even short course at the one we had 2. But I've had a thought about this, and when Keenan asked me about this when he interviewed me a while back, I kind of balked on the it, like I had a mind fart and didn't even mention it. My thought has always been, stop making that race a level 5 national championship where the entry fee is a fucking $100. Like, none of our locals back when we held the Nats in 16, even 2011, hardly any of our local guys ran the Nats.
Yeah,
because it was $100.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all weekend long. They stretched it out over that 5-day event: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So not only is the entry fee $100, but now you're asking people to spend all that time and money at hotels or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah, like you said, just make it a level. I think make it a level 4 event. Call it a championship instead of a national. Let the track set the entry fee. It'll still probably be high. I bet you it'd be $50 or $60, but that's better than $100.
Yeah.
And then let them take care of the awards, take care of the announcer, provide if they're a track, they already got their own computer. Maybe bring in tech from Roar. That's the one thing that you'd have to pay for, which would cut into the profit a little bit. But at least it would maybe get butts in the door.
Well, even that, like, was it last year? Was it last year or 2 years ago that they were making a big deal about Roar-approved motors for 8 scale? Remember that? And
yeah.
It's like,
it's like the ultimate mod class. You were running a 4-cell battery.
Yeah, like how is there? They're like, they always would say like, oh, like they're approved like for safety. Like that was the whole thing with batteries too.
Yeah.
And like I can understand that, but I mean, somebody has the motor from a major manufacturer. It's like,
yeah, I remember at our 2011 Nats, the one where they didn't send RMT because there wasn't enough entries to cover it, so they paid me $1,200 to basically use our computers. I was the race director, I was the announcer, everything. And I don't know. There were batteries that weren't on the approved list yet from Reedy.
Yeah.
That like Hartshorn was there running. I remember that. And you're just like, dude, like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to tell this person that bought this battery from the store? And then there's some other guys that brought batteries that weren't Roar approved, that had the Roar approved sticker on the side of them.
Yeah, I remember.
And you're
that.
just like, well, I mean, that's just the company being shady.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you about that one. But I saw in the comments, I saw like, well, they should have what they advertised, and we were going to come. I'm like, you don't understand. For Roar, there's a necessity for the entries to be taken and paid for at the time that you sign up. It's not like a regular race where you can just show up the day of. They have to have a body count. They have to know how much money they have to work with. They have to know ahead of time, how many heats they're going to have, they'll gladly take their money when you're there. But if nobody signs up for a class by the cutoff date when you're supposed to, and then you bitch about it being taken away because nobody signed up for it, I don't know, man. That's kind of on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As somebody who's been on the Roar side of it, I was very frustrated sometimes by the treatment that Roar people would get for making pretty common sense decisions.
Right.
Plus, you can't hold a race with just 4 entries. You need people to marshal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the thing. If we had this race and there was only like 5 people signed up for Plex spec, I might have thought about just saying, you know what, I'll give you your money back and we'll just come back and race at the summer series.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise I'd have to be begging for corner marshals nonstop.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Or it's like, you talk to the kid's dad or kids' dads or something, or parents, and it's like, hey, you both need to marshal or something. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to work it out, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
The whole that thing, it seems like pretty common sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
What to do with that race or what to do with e-buggy in general, I don't know. I don't know how to fix that.
I'm surprised it's not as popular as it used to be.
I love e-buggy.
I do too. It's the easiest A scale class.
Yeah,
like to just be able to show. It's easy to club race. Like,
right.
Probably more people across the country club race electric 8 scale than anything else.
Yeah. I mean,
actually, it's a little disheartening that, because isn't the, like, so what is the World's Cup for the 8 scale Worlds?
Mm-hmm.
They scheduled it a week after the Worlds, the 10 scale World, right?
Really?
So like a lot of the pro drivers aren't even going.
Oh.
I was asking the guys about it, and one of them was like, "Oh, I'm not even going to that. My brain's gonna be fried from the world."
Yeah.
Like, why would I? Like, oh, that makes sense. So it's like, this doesn't. So is the electric 8 scale Nats like a World's Cup qualifier?
It's supposed to be.
So it's like they're not advertising it as that, are they?
I don't know. I haven't looked that hard at it.
So it's like nobody knows about it. They put the World's Cup on a weird weekend when the guys that they would want to try to build this World's Cup up can't even go. And it's gonna be where they're having it in like another country.
It's in Portugal, I think. The track is cool. The track is rad.
Yeah. That's that one with the red infields, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I mean, it's a cool track and a cool venue. Like, why? I don't know if it's the scheduling. Like, why would they schedule two World's Championships back to back when they're both off road and they're gonna have most of the same drivers?
Yeah. Ifmar likes to do that. They schedule a lot of their races somewhat close to each other. It is kind of weird, I will say.
Yeah, that just doesn't like to build up some kind of a. It's a new Worlds class.
Yeah.
Like, it should be the biggest. Like, and why isn't there like a truck Worlds?
Well,
like, truck is like the
Yeah. So
truck is like the biggest class.
Norca used to have a truck World Cup.
Yeah.
Long time back when Norca was Norca, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So it does say on the flyer, it says new for 2023, plus 45 and youth racers can enter both classes in buggy or truggy, which is a good thing because that was one of the rules that always sucked. If you raced 15 and under, you couldn't race. Like, if you raced 15 and under stock buggy, you couldn't race regular stock buggy. I remember that with 16 Nats and Emerson.
Yeah.
And it does say this event is a IFMAR World Championship qualifying event for the first ever eWorlds. But here we go. I mean, no, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to offend any track owner out there or anybody, because I know how tough it is. Trust me, I totally get it. But here's something that bugs me to a point. Okay, and this is a different track. It's an outdoor track, so I get it. You got to rent equipment and stuff like that. Pitting details: indoor air conditioned pit spot with power and chair, $200.
Ooh.
Covered outdoor pit spot with table and chair, $100.
No, thank you, sir.
Camper spots with 30 amp connection, $225. Plenty of space for free pitting and overnight parking. Now I have seen some national events, like I gotta say the upcoming 10 scale Nats too. They have kind of a high price for pitting. And if you got to rent something, like when Lincoln did theirs,
Yeah.
their national, they had to rent that giant covered area.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it. I get that you need to charge people for that too.
Yeah.
But if you're one of these tracks that has pit spots already and you've been around for a couple years, the whole paying for pitting thing pisses me off, and that's one reason why I wouldn't go.
Yeah. Like, what was it? Space Coast, when they were a track, they did that. It was like the next year they closed, and then SRS
Yeah.
was the other one. It was like they did all that Nats, where they were charging people to come in and watch, and they were charging people to bring in food.
I remember that.
Yeah, and they were charging $200 or $100 for a pit spot.
Yeah.
And they didn't have any other options. It's just it was like both those tracks like closed right away afterwards.
Yeah.
So it's like if I was a track owner, I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but I would tell you that is a bad idea.
I mean, we charge $10 for I call it event practice. So if you're there a day early, when we have our open track the day before the event officially starts, I charge you $10. But you're getting 6-7 hours of practice.
You're getting air conditioned pits.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting electrical for free, or for $10, and you get to drive all day.
Yeah.
For $10.
Yeah.
That's not unreasonable. I'd pay $10 a couple of different times before I'd pay $100 for a pit spot.
Yeah.
It just like separates the haves and have-nots. Like God, hardly anybody can afford to go to these races anymore. It's like you squeeze them for another $100. It's like, I mean, $100 isn't a lot of money. It's not. It still just seems like such just like paying $8 for water at the 2000 Woodstock or whatever.
Oh, the 99 Woodstock, or the
99.
Yeah, it was like $10 for water, and yeah, that is funny.
Back then, that's like $20 for water now or something. If you think about it.
The first ever IFMAR World Cup for 1/8 off-road is taking place this September in Guarda, Portugal. The World Cup is necessary to run a world championship in 2025. And it's the next weekend after the 10 scale Worlds.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I heard some of those guys aren't even going to go. They'll catch it when it's an actual Worlds.
Yeah. Huh.
At least that's what I heard from the guy. I only talked to, I think, one guy that races 8 scale.
Yeah.
That is a multiple-time world champion.
Yeah.
I was there this weekend about it. And he was like, my brain's going to be fried. Why would I even go? Just kidding.
Yeah, he was really cool this weekend.
He was, actually. Like, dude, where was this guy 5 years ago?
Yeah. I don't know about that. Yeah, the pitting thing sometimes gets under my skin, because I'm like, if as long as they have a free pitting area, then I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just take that spot. You know, or if it's reasonably priced to get something nicer, then I'm in. But
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm one to suffer. Because if
Yeah.
I'm already paying $100 entry fee, dude, you know,
Right.
I don't
Where's
know.
the ENATs? Where's that
They're
race?
in Rome, New York. When I was comp director, I was kind of hoping that they would, because that's Calandra's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, CRCRC. So I remember talking to him about holding the Roar Nationals way back when we had the Horizon race in Tilton, Illinois. Frank was there, and I remember we were talking about it because we had held the Nats, you know, once or twice by then. And he's like, "What's this all about? What do I have to do?" And
Yeah, they are in New York though, so you know I am walking here, but the like you know like that movie, I'm walking in.
I'm walking here.
But they uh um I don't know, maybe everything's really expensive.
Well, I'm
there.
sure. I'm sure it is. Like I said, I'm not
They're probably
knocking.
watching this podcast.
I'm
right,
not knocking the place.
right
I'm
now.
just saying. I'm just saying that when I see that, you know, I'm glad there was free pitting available, because if there wasn't, then I you know, if they're worried about the entries,
Mhm.
you know, maybe that would be a barrier.
Maybe they don't want a bunch of people to come.
Oh, I'm sure they do. Yeah. I don't know.
Surprised. You'd be surprised the stuff you hear from like not RC track owners, but like from track owners, like for other types of racing, and they try to do something else, like kind of like as a secondary thing to try to build up another portion of it, and it blows up way bigger than they ever expected.
Sure.
And they're like, man, like I'd be fine with 100 entries. 100 entries is too much, but now we're getting like 200.
Dude, the
the
Techno Series is that way with me.
Yep.
I don't really want 240 entries for the Techno Series every time.
Yeah, we're gonna start charging for pitting at the Techno Series. Trying to deter people from coming.
Exactly.
You can pay for all 6 rounds up front for $400, or it's $100 a round.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's funny.
I wonder who'd pay it. Or you can have free pitting outside.
Like yeah, you can totally pit outside, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like negative 2 billion degrees.
Yeah. Oh man, that's really funny. Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. I saw that was buzzing around Facebook while we were running this race, so I figured I'd mention something. We got to talk about the dirt bike before we get to the JConcepts race. We got to talk about the dirt bike.
Yeah, what about it?
Well, I have one.
Yeah.
And I tried to run it on our track.
Mm-hmm.
And it clearly is not meant for that type of racetrack. Our track's way too tight, way too many elevation changes. It just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it.
Yeah, if I was told that you could run it on an electric 10-scale track, though, okay, I did see a video of a guy driving one on a carpet track, and it actually looked really good on a carpet track. Like, it looked way better. It looked way better than the yours on a dirt track.
Well, yeah, but the carpet track was flat.
Yeah, right. Well, it had jumps.
Yeah, but our jumps go. Our jumps
had a wall ride.
Yeah, I saw that. Our jumps go uphill, downhill. We just everything was this was not the track layout conducive to that bike.
Yeah, but it's like on the Ripcast, like Jason was talking about, like it's like, yeah, you probably need a special track, and I guess whoever he was talking to at TLR was like, well, you don't really need one, and it's like, well, Jason's like, well, I want a special track.
You know where
it'd be cool if it had a special track.
Yeah, there was a track.
Dude, you could race those and then race monster trucks as a supporting class. Like, because cool. Monster trucks need a lot of room to turn in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And the suspension on those, believe it or not, isn't the greatest because they bounce so much.
Yeah.
You know?
There was a track that I saw that was a 10-scale track, and it was outside. At first, I thought it was Hot Rod Hobbies, but it wasn't. I can't remember the name of it now, but it did really good on this little dirt track. And it was loose. Obviously, it was outside. It was a loose dirt. It was doing the jumps. They had this little 10 scale step up thing. It was really good. It looked really good on that.
Yeah.
So I think it's possible to get it on a 10 scale size track if it's the right kind of layout. So but yeah, that would be a great idea. Wouldn't that be cool? Add it to the monster truck events.
Yeah. That would be where I would expect to see it run, actually.
Yeah.
Just because because like a monster truck, you watch it drive around, it looks kind of like it's so animated, right? Like it body rolls and it pops wheelies and it like they bounce and they land and do stuff. And the motorcycles kind of do the same thing. And like monster trucks, they're so short with giant tires and everything, they don't really turn the greatest on loose dirt. They kind of squid around and like they're not like locked in like a truggy.
Yeah.
So
I need to get that bike out to one of the BMX tracks here.
Yeah.
And get some video on it.
Yeah. It'd be cool if like a bunch of guys started racing like Clodbusters and stuff again.
Yeah. I know.
Or even just like
mine.
Imagine if the T-Max came back.
Yeah.
Made a huge comeback.
E-Max. They should re-release the E-Max. Like the original short skinny one.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they should.
Not the big one. The original short skinny one.
Yeah. I remember they had that one was brushed with 2 motors.
It was brushed with 2 motors. They were racing them in Chillicothe when they first came out. Yeah, dude. Whole bunch of the Iowa guys brought them. It was oh man, I'm gonna forget his name, aren't I? I am gonna forget his name. It doesn't matter. But when they first came out, I remember watching them. They had a class of E-Maxes. It was funny because they worked really well.
Yeah.
You're just like, well, that's not supposed to do that, but it is.
Yeah, they should totally re-release that. Like they'd sell them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I think they would sell them, especially if you could get it at a really good price point.
Yeah. Like all that stuff I would think is cheaper now, like the brush stuff. They could have it with twin brush motors again.
Did you see the new Traxxas motor that's replacing the brushed motor?
I heard about it, but I heard all the Titan 12 turns are discontinued.
So no, that's not really what's going to happen. So the thing that we got was that certain products like the Slash and the Rustlers and stuff are going to be replaced. The 12-turn systems are going to be replaced by a cheap brushless system.
Yeah.
And the price of is only going to go up by like $30.
Okay.
So it's not going to be terrible. But
well,
I think
that's good.
But I think they're still going to make the Bandit brushed.
Huh.
So, and they're not discontinuing the brushed motor or the XL5. They're just not going to include them in the Slash anymore.
Okay. So I guess there was guys posting this in one of the Mud Boss Facebook groups I'm a part of.
Yeah.
I'm part of a Mud Boss Facebook group.
Yeah, because you're that guy now.
Yeah, I'm that guy now. Well, so I got in that group because my wife was interested in coming to race, and she was like, "I want a cereal box truck," because that's what she calls the short course trucks. Who look like cereal boxes, and so I was like, "All right, do you want to race?" She's like, "Maybe." And he's like, "Okay, well they have this mud box class, and you take a cereal box truck and put a mud butt body on it, and go race it."
Yeah.
And there's guys in there saying like, well, the Traxxas, what do you call it? It's the Slashes. They're not going to come with the Titan 12-turn brush system anymore, so they're looking at other options, or looking to streamline that. So, like, maybe, hopefully, dude, they'll sell that brushless system, because that's what I think they're going to end up using. Is that brushless system in all of them? They'll sell that thing like gangbusters.
Yeah, it's locked end bell too. So.
Oh yeah, dude. When I raced not Slash, I raced short course at the Lincoln track.
Mm-hmm.
I did nothing but sell that Valenian brushless system to guys because that thing was bulletproof. Like I had a Tekin system, and I had something else. I think it was a Novak system, the Havoc. Yeah, Novak Havoc system, and it always overheat and they'd burn up, and like you'd have hard times getting it to work. You could
Yeah.
take that Traxxas Valenian system and throw it in one of those trucks, and it just worked. I was like, well, it's stupid not to use this. It's actually really smooth. It has used to have a port on it.
It did for
Plug in
sensor.
censored
Yeah.
brushless motor.
Yep.
So I was like, dude, just use this, and it worked good for out there. So it was almost like we had a spec motor for out there because that's what everybody used.
Yeah.
You'd have some guys that would try to run a Tekin system every once in a while, but it still wasn't as fast. Like I was going faster with the Valenian system.
So here's a super chat. So is Stock Slash changing to brushless at the Plex? I think I would allow it then if because that's what they come with.
Yeah, that's what you have to use.
It's starting. It's fourth quarter, so it'll be.
Yeah.
I think they'll be showing up. What is it? October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was kind of holding out to get a mud butt for Aaron.
Mud butt.
Huh?
Mud butt.
Yeah, mud boss for
That's awesome.
Aaron.
Next time I announce a dirt oval race and it's gonna mud boss, I'm gonna call them mud butts.
Yeah, that's what I call his mud butt. So anyway, I was kind of holding out for the new Traxxas Slash. Do they still make the Slayer?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, it's a Slayer Pro, so it's a little longer and a little wider than a regular Slayer.
Huh. Is it Rain Blood?
Maybe.
Like that song?
Like the song. Yeah, I know what you were getting at.
I'm Raining Blood!
Dude, Emerson listens to Slayer.
Hell yeah.
I think that's hilarious.
Dude.
Because it wasn't that long ago where I was listening to Slayer and Emerson's like, what's this crap?
Yeah.
And now he listens to Slayer.
If I'm like thrashing, I get some Slayer on.
Yeah. I keep wondering when Emerson's gonna like buy an Anthrax shirt and get a like a chain wallet.
If he gets a chain wallet, I'm gonna make fun of him all the time.
I had a chain wallet.
Nice.
I used to have a chain wallet back in the day.
Looks good on you though.
Yeah. It's because I'm fat.
I don't know. I had a boss that had a chain wallet all the time. I just think they look weird. Like, it's like, do
Yeah.
you even need a wallet anymore?
No, not really.
I have a wallet. There's no chain on it though.
Mm.
I should just start doing that. I'm gonna start doing that. That's gonna be my new thing.
Yeah.
Chain wallet. Yep.
Freaking awesome, dude.
What do you chain it to? Like a piercing or something? What's the other? What's the other end go to? You have it like chained to your belly button ring or something.
Ow. That would hurt.
Yeah. Somebody steals your wallet and rips both your nipples off.
Oh man.
Ow, my nipples.
Oh, Billy. All right, let's talk about.
But where does it go? I don't know where the other end.
The other end,
change.
it hooks onto like your the belt loop.
The belt loop or the belt? I'd rip off a belt loop. The belt loop isn't as strong as you think it is.
Well, I know, but I think that's where I had mine.
Oh.
I think.
Somebody could have stole your wallet.
I guess so.
Ripped off the loop.
At least I would know.
Been out that pair of pants.
I know, but then at least I would know.
Yeah.
Nowadays, to steal a wallet, you just have to have like some sort of electronic thing. You just walk by somebody.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because all your cards have that chip in it. And if somebody's got one of these things, they could scan your credit card standing right next to you.
Huh. Didn't know that.
Let's talk about the race. Let's get to the race. It's been an hour.
Yeah.
We're holding everybody in suspense. There's 23 people on right now. That's pretty cool.
Wow. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully, at least 30% of you are Canadian.
We ended up, the official count was 273 entries, 121 drivers. We had 150 pit spots available. I was kind of happy that we didn't get anywhere near that, so I didn't have to take down my crawler course.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of fun having the crawler course up when we have big events, because then people and their kids and stuff, they go up and they buy SCX10s and
yeah, the pits didn't fill up, and we didn't even charge for pitting. Weird.
It almost felt, it didn't feel near as crammed either.
No, it was great.
It was really nice, actually. We got a lot done. I mean, you look at everything, whenever we have this event, especially now, because this is my national, so I probably won't ever put in for the Roar Nats as long as we have this race, because what's the point?
Right.
This is basically our national, in my opinion.
Right.
But you kind of look how everything came together. I love building the track a week ahead of time, because it gives me a chance to refine something, or fix something if something gets messed up, or if something breaks down while I'm building it. I have time. I'm not freaking out that I have to have something done by Thursday. And it gives me time to organize a little bit beforehand.
Dude, like that time the camper about killed you.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Yeah.
I
remember.
You know, I had asked my sister to come in and do check-in for me, and that worked out really well because everybody's transponder numbers were pretty much in there by the time we started the qualifier. Oh, yeah. So we didn't do seating. We just went in right into a qualifier. I would love for you guys in the chat who were at this race to tell me what you thought about that. I'm going to tell you what I thought about that, and then I want Will to tell you guys what he thought about that. So here's what I think about that. I actually like that a lot, because that meant that Saturday night we weren't there until like midnight. I mean, I at first I was like, should we do that or should we just do the seating thing? But we were doing 5 hours around. We started at 9. I mean, yeah, we would have been there until midnight on Saturday, and then we're just burned out. And then Sunday sucks because you didn't sleep very well, or didn't sleep, long enough. So I actually liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to like it, but I actually liked it a lot. And then I think next year, I think we could even run some lower mains on Saturday.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because we were done. When were we done qualifying? 7?
Something like that.
I mean, we could have. Was it 7 or 9? It wasn't 9. It was 7. Because it's 5 hours around. We started at 9.
Yeah.
So it's 7 o'clock. I mean, we could run an hour worth of mains. Yeah, I don't know.
That's up to you. I don't really think that matters a whole lot.
Okay.
Like, we're out of what time were we done on Sunday?
That's a good question. What time were we done? So the last
6?
main ran at 5:35, and I tried to hustle everybody through the awards and stuff. I think we were done handing stuff out around 7.
Yeah. That's pretty reasonable.
Okay.
I would say. I don't know. I didn't drive from out of town.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it was 6:30 or 6, is that going to make a difference for somebody taking the next day off of work?
Yeah.
You get home an hour earlier. Though we pretty much by having a round of qualifying on Friday, we eliminated we made it so we're out of there earlier on Saturday. So that made sense, because then you're still coming back the next day. You get, I don't know, potentially 5 to 6 more hours of potential sleep if you want it.
Dude, I loved it. Because like normally I'm the last one out of there. So Saturday sometimes I am I'm out of there. I don't get home till like 1 a.m. and then I got to be up again in like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
suck at sleeping at night. So
Yeah.
that was
But
great.
for like Sunday, it's like you're pretty much just trying to hustle through so people can leave, and it's like just having an hour of mains on Saturday gonna make it that much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I kind of look at. So you have a later night Saturday when we could have gone out to Topgolf or
I know.
bowling or
Maybe
go-karts
next year I'll go out with you guys. I just I don't know. I had to stay and fix a couple things on Saturday too before the main event. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I hear what you're saying. I like doing the qualifier because Saturday was not so long and people could go out and do stuff if they wanted to. I think that really worked out.
That was definitely worth it.
I really like that a lot. So we'll probably end up doing that again as long as the entries are up where they should be for this race.
Mm-hmm.
So I could even do it for the Pro Tech race.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of locals though that have a hard time getting off of work and
on
stuff.
Friday. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you gonna do? I don't know. It's like you can't please everybody.
Yeah.
The guys that are there are already there. If the track's there open Thursday, they're gonna be there for Thursday.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a, if you want to take it more seriously and be there for the more practice and make sure you're there for the qualifier. I mean, it's kind of like what you got to do for these big events.
Yeah. The other thing is that I originally planned on having expert stock be 11 total in the main, just like the mod guys.
Yeah.
And then I was vetoed that, and it really only affected 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
It affected Emerson and Ryan Prince, and they both made it in their respective mains.
Yeah.
So kind of worked out.
Yeah.
Kind of worked out on its own. I was like, okay.
I thought that's what we did last time.
It is what we did last time. You're right.
Okay.
But Hoosier and Hobby Action, because I had to go back and look, because I specifically remember it, because I was the bump up in 13.5 4-wheel drive, and I was car number 11.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go back. So Hoosier last year did 10-1 in expert stock and 4-wheel drive, and then Hobby Action also did 10-1. And so I was like, well, we got this many entries. Let's just go ahead and do that. So, but like I said, I'm glad it really only affected a couple people, and they both ended up. I think the only one that didn't get in was Andrew Thomas.
Yeah.
And he was there.
Right.
He was there, but
right.
But he kicked butt in his other classes, so I don't really feel bad for him.
I would get if they. Here's my thing. So they're running the same format as the mod classes, right? They're running AAA mains.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like when they used to do the bump 2, they were doing 8-minute mains and a single main, like back when I knew that's what they were doing. So that kind of made sense. I mean, it's different, and it was different. Both things are different.
Yeah.
Well, now they're doing one thing the same as the mod classes, and they're doing the same thing for the race format for the other one, but they're doing a different qualifying format.
The AAA mains for the expert stock and expert 4-wheel drive, though, are the racetrack's prerogative.
Yeah.
So if the track doesn't want to do AAA mains for those 2 classes, they don't have to. They'll run a single 8-minute main just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, the mod classes get the AAA mains because they're kind of the main show.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And because they are, and I think the expert classes are kind of the main show there too.
Right.
So that's why I thought it'd be. Plus, it helps with the disbursement of the mains a little bit too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but that was on me. I didn't really reach out ahead of time and ask if that's something that was okay to do, because I just kind of assumed it was, and it wasn't. So, live and learn on that one. Really, that was the only real controversy all weekend, really, other than some driving incidents. But that you're gonna have that at every RC car race.
Yeah.
Did you hear anything? I mean, you're in the pits.
About what?
About the race going okay or
No.
not going okay, or is there anything I can do better? I don't know, because I'm always in the booth. I just the only time that I ever report on something is if somebody actually opens up the booth and says something to me,
Yeah.
which didn't really happen.
No, I didn't really hear about anything that mattered.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? There was like one thing I thought was kind of trivial and silly, but I'll tell you about it after.
Yeah.
Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah. The stupid backup computer. So dumb. So you have a parent computer, which is my laptop, and then you have the child computer. The laptop computer is the one that matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I change something on the main computer, I also would have to change it on the backup computer by hand. It doesn't automatically do it. It automatically does transponder numbers and bump ups and all that stuff. But like if I like I think we missed Larivier's transponder number on the backup part of it. So when guys are coming off the stand and are looking at the results, Doug's time wasn't shown on there, but it was but it was correct on the computer that mattered, the actual race computer.
Well, he missed the lap.
Yeah.
And I added it manually. Is what happened.
Yeah.
And it only showed it on the parent.
Exactly.
On the parent.
Yeah, exactly.
And I told him, I was like, dude, you get that right. Like, figure out what it is, because like during that main, I was like quiet, like while I was announcing it. Like I didn't really announce a whole lot.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, I knew what you were doing.
Because I was like trying to make sure he didn't miss any more laps.
Yeah, I do the same thing. A lot of times, if there's something going on with the computer and I need to fix it, or I need to hand count somebody, a lot of times I won't talk near as much. So I actually noticed that because I was in that race, and I figured that's what was going on. But see, the shitty thing about it is you also would have to, not only are you fixing it on this computer, you'd also need to get the mouse out and go over here and try to fix it on that computer if you want it to be shown right. So next time, I'm going to rework my system so that next time, no matter what is shown on all of, not just the Race Vision computer, it automatically does it. But since we're not actually using Race Vision, we're using we're just mirroring the screen to all the other monitors that are around the track from the backup computer. I'm going to have to figure out how to get that to plug into here and still be able to see the backup computer. So I don't know. It just that's one thing that one's on me. That makes the whole thing kind of seem kind of silly and stupid. But I was just telling people, I'm like, don't worry about it. What's on this computer is what matters.
Right.
And that was the first time. I don't think we did the backup last year, did we?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I know we didn't.
Yeah. So this is the first time that I need to figure that one out. That's going to be my next project.
There's a couple of guys that said something, and I was like, no. Well, I mean, he obviously won, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
exactly.
Like, enough said. Like, but yeah, he had like a 42-second lap or something.
Yep.
And I was like,
there really weren't a lot of missed laps either. I kind of messed with the squelch a couple of weeks ago, again on the AMB, because a couple, like Andrew Thomas always misses one in club racing, and it's kind of like Alex Vanderbeek. He would always miss one, and
Tommy Smith would too.
Yeah, and Tom Smith. It's always the same people, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. So I messed with the squelch a little bit on the AMB, and I noticed that Friday night's club race before this event, Andrew didn't miss a single lap. So I was like, well, maybe I fixed it. And at this race, we only missed, I think, maybe 4 or 5 people missed laps total, and it was I know why. It's because they missed a loop. They literally missed a loop. So, like, somebody took a tumble over the loop, and they got just high enough where it didn't pick them up.
Yeah.
But then Owen was like 5 feet in the air, and it picked him up. So
yeah, I don't get that.
So you're like, I don't know how to explain it. I want to talk about the results a little bit. There was some pretty cool stuff, pretty cool things happening in this one. Let's see. We'll go to the first one that's not a triple. So independent 13.5 4-wheel drive. It was a rematch between Andrew and Owen and Dalton from the ProTech race. And Andrew got 2. He won both independent classes again this weekend. He crushed it. And he almost made the main in 2-wheel expert too. So he would have made the main in 2-wheel expert and 2-wheel independent. He just missed a bump by one crash, really. But Owen Bobbany did really well again, and Dalton Conrad got the bump and then ended up finishing 3rd in 4-wheel drive. Dalton tends to do that. He kind of pulls stuff out of his butt. Kind of reminds me of Emerson in a way, when Emerson was a little younger. He wouldn't qualify so good, and then like just race his way in. Don Drews had a really good weekend. John Berding got top 5. Casey Ford, those guys had a really good weekend. Bo Hall, I haven't seen him come up in a long time. He was always kind of in the mix. Brett Nelson, I think he probably thinks he should have done better. I agree. Because he's up there in the points in the Summer Series with basically the same people.
Mm-hmm.
And then Avon Dortch, it's their first time here, so making the main and getting 10th. 2-wheel mod was 4-wheel mod. I'm sorry, 4-wheel mod was very interesting because it had to go to an A main number 3, didn't it? No, Aiden Horn won. Yeah, Aiden got to sit out.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Aiden finally won one here.
Yeah.
Like he's been so close the last couple times that he's been here. And he finally won one. And he took it in 4-wheel. So Brock TQ'd this and he won last year's 4-wheel drive race too.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with Dustin Evans. He qualified 3rd and he was right behind Brock last year as well. So dude, Aiden got one. I kind of caught some of his video with Matt, his interview. I'm gonna go back and watch some of these just because I like doing that.
Yeah,
but it's good to see. I mean, Aiden's been coming here a long time too. The last time that I actually was able to beat Aiden Horn was the 2016 Novak race that I won.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last 2-wheel mod race that I won. That mattered. And he was the horns were here, and I think Rennerneck finished 2nd, and that's when we did double mains.
Mm-hmm.
And I won on points. So, but ever since then, those guys have been untouchable. And then Aiden and Tom spent like a whole month here. Yeah, I think in the summer of 2020, right?
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. That's pretty cool to see. Brock got 2nd, Dustin Evans 3rd. I think Dustin does really well here too. He's another driver that he does really well on our track.
Yeah.
It was cool to see Chase Lemieux here and see Paul.
Yeah, that was really cool. I asked Paul if he was going to race 40 plus. He's like, nope, I'm just here working.
Yep.
So, all right. Cool.
I don't think I've ever seen Paul race an off-road car before.
I haven't. When we went to that race in Texas, I think he had one of their, what was it, Mike's RC?
I remember him being there,
race?
but I remember him
raced.
being there. Oh, that's right. He did race, didn't he?
I think he only raced 4-wheel drive.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. You are right. I remember that now.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. Chase is really fast, though.
Oh, yeah.
And Tom Rennerneck was 5th. And same thing. I think Tom was pretty hungry to do better, to do really well here again.
Mm-hmm.
And his stuff looked really good. Matty G, Matthew Gonzalez was here, and I mean his stuff looked good too. I think it was his first time here ever. I don't think
No, he's been here before.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he has, but he didn't race the last time he was here.
Oh, is he just like a motor guy?
Yeah,
Was that 2 years ago?
I think so. It was cold outside.
Oh.
I mean,
Oh. Wasn't he
yeah.
like Charlie Cavalier's like mechanic
Something like that.
at
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that now. Okay.
Uh-huh.
But his
That
stuff
or,
his stuff
I
looked
don't
really
think
good
he-
too. But yeah,
I don't think
he
he was here last year.
No, he wasn't here last year, but you're right. He was here 2 years ago, but he didn't race.
Mm-hmm.
Lee Setzer, 7th. Brian Cavalieri, 8th. Mason Herrick, Nick Gibson, and Alex Vanderbeek, 9th, 10th, and 11th. That's your trio that were battling it at the ProTech race. And they all made the main. Alex had to do it the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
But he was in there.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, it was pretty cool seeing Cavalieri's paint scheme going around the track. 'Cause I don't think he's been here since 2016.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So that was pretty neat.
Wasn't he at another JConcepts race, or was that when we had it in the winter? I don't remember if that was after the Nats or before the Nats.
It was before. It was
Yeah.
2015. He was here for that one.
Okay.
Yeah, he was battling Jared Tebow for the win in that one.
Yeah.
That one was that cool layout that we had that it swept around, had a triple in front,
Mm-hmm.
cut back, and there was these like stutter bumps that went up to an elevation change in the back.
Yeah.
And then it dropped down and it kicked you up, and you could, if you did it right, you could land on the downside in the corner and turn, but the faster way would be to land on top and turn. That's when Cole Tollard jumped over Taylor Larson on the last lap in that spot. I think in truck. I think.
Yeah.
It was a cool pass. I'm sure Taylor didn't think it was cool, but it was cool.
Yeah. I was surprised Cole wasn't here.
Yeah, the TLR thing.
Yeah.
There was a TLR table, but I mean it was the regional drivers.
Right.
You know? So you had Sutherland's, Aiden, the Albericos, and the Birdings.
Yeah.
That was kind of it.
Right.
So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Would have been cool to have Dakota here. There was who was missing in 10 skill world. I mean, like Spencer Rivkin was signed up and then wasn't signed up a couple weeks ago. So there's one. Obviously Dakota, Cole Tollard. Who else in 10 scale world that you normally would think of that wasn't here? Because like we had Aiden, we had Tom, we had Brock, we had Dustin, we had Ryan Cavalieri.
That's really all I can think of.
I don't really consider Mayfield anymore to be a 10 scale. I mean, I know he's probably more focused on 8 scale than anything.
Yeah.
Tebow's retired.
Yeah.
You know?
Though I kind of wonder if he'll just like buy some 10 scale cars and come to this race every once in a while now.
That would be cool.
Like after the fact.
When does he turn 40? That's going to suck.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they changed it to 45.
Yeah. God damn it. All right, moving on. That was that one. Plex spec, dude. How about Alex Eichler? TQ in a win?
Yeah.
And he that's a lot of pressure for the young man. You know? I mean, has he TQ'd a race before? Other than a club night? I don't think he's gotten the Summer Series one yet.
Is he leading points in the Summer Series right now?
No, I'd have to look it up. I don't know. But I mean, he crushed him.
Mm-hmm.
I love the podium pick because it's Alex who's this tall, and then it's Bo who's just a little bit taller.
Yeah.
But you know, Anyways, Alex Eichler, he did a really good job. That's really cool to see. I mean, that's gonna be a confidence booster. He gets some pub on the JConcepts thing. I love including Plex spec in these races.
Yeah.
I really do.
Some would argue it's the most important class.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad we had more than 11. Because originally I was just going to put them all in the main together, and then we ended up with a few extra. And I talked the Chadwells into racing.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did too.
That's good.
Bo Sheffield got second, and Cameron Ford. Like I said, the Fords had a pretty good weekend. Finished third. And then Cody Sokowski. Those guys are from the Waterloo area. So they come over every once in a while. They race at Hobby Haven sometimes. They've raced at that place in Cedar Rapids. Colson Chadwell, that kid, he's really fast on. So he started off with like a rustler or something like that, just like everybody else does, and then, his dad got him a buggy, and then now his dad's got a buggy, and now he's got. I think his dad just bought a B6 B74.2, and they also have a TTO2. So he qualified second, finished fifth. Sometimes that happens, but he's another one that could have given Alex a run for his money if things went a certain way. Bentley Sheffield got sixth. Bill Grieve with his rear motor RB10 ended up seventh. Nick Chadwell got the bump, and did you see Nick Chadwell was in second place at the start of the race? So he started ninth, and by the first lap he was like in second.
Yeah,
and I was like, wow, what the heck's going on here? And then he fell back to ninth, or eighth. So whatever, it's fine. Steve Eichler was ninth, and little Kyrie Barrett got the bump and finished 10th, and that was pretty cool too. He was pretty stoked to get his award, and then I had to give Chloe one because I promised her one from the Pro Tech race, and I haven't gotten it yet, so she's got it now. Talk about 13.5 four-wheel drive, because that was the next one in the row. So Doug LaRiviere got the win, and he won the first two, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah.
In 13.5 four-wheel drive?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He was 2 and done.
So, Tyler Hooks finished second, and then Nate Sutherland finished third. Then it was Zach Gastelum, and then it was me with Caden Barradine sixth, Mason Templeman seventh, Emerson got eighth, Ryan Prince ninth, and Damon Smith got 10th. I was in third after 2 mains, and if I would have gotten through the melee on the straightaway that destroyed my four-wheeler, I would have gotten third in that race instead of fourth, and I might have been able to get third overall.
Really?
Yeah. So I saw what was happening in front of me during the end of that race, and I saw Mason catch Nate, who needed a marshal. And then I saw out of the corner of my eye those two get together, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to make up 2 spots here. I'm going to get third in this one. So I punched it. I went over the jump, and I just punched it, and I just basically closed my eyes. And then when I opened them, my car was tumbling down the straightaway super hard and braking. You could hear it and see it break, like parts were flinging off of it. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And then it landed. And I got marshaled and put down on the berm, and I gave it gas, and the car could go. And so I just fully punched it again and had that thing limp across the line. But as I was doing that, Nate Sutherland got around me for position.
Yeah.
So I was like this close to getting third in that one instead of fourth.
Yeah.
So
well, like that was the one where Doug's transponder didn't count that one lap.
Yeah.
And like I had no idea what was going on. I just heard like a whole bunch of hooting and hollering, and I was like,
yeah.
like what?
So I'm I don't know. I was pretty excited to go into A3. I was almost more focused on 4-wheel drive at that point than I was worried about 40 plus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I had a spectacular first main, and then I had a really good. Then this finish in second main, I was like, I looked down and I was still where I was at. And I'm like, well, geez, I have a shot to get a top 3 in this now. You know,
Right.
and qualifying, I think I qualified horribly. I gave so much time up from all the crashes that I had that were just stupid that I should have qualified higher. I should have been where I was at, but 5th is about right, I think. This was Doug's first time here. He did really good. He won 2-wheel drive too. We'll talk about that in a minute here, but Tyler Hooks hasn't been here in a while to actually race. So that was really cool. Nate, he hasn't been here all summer. Zach Gastelum, I think he was at last year's.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I was pretty happy to beat Caden because he got me at the ProTech race. So I got him back a little bit. And Templeman, Emerson made the main and finished one higher. He beat me in the last main by 1 spot, and he had to borrow a car to do it. Ryan Prince, he's the one that got kind of screwed out of the 8+2 instead of 10+1 thing. So I was glad that he got up there. And then Damon Smith, same thing. Damon Smith, I know he was super stoked to go straight to the main. So,
dude, Ryan Prince, he got 3rd in it was one of the mains of 2-wheel.
Yeah.
He started 10th.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it was the last one. I think it was the last one.
Yeah.
So.
And I was telling him, or maybe he was 9th. Started 9th. I was telling him, like, when he won the B main, I was like, dude, like, you just totally, like, walked away from everybody. Like your car is, like, really good.
Yeah. I think it took him a while, but I think he finally kind of got it figured out. I noticed, I noticed some guys struggling with especially brand new tires, but also like there's, I wouldn't call it a trick, but you gotta make sure that your tires don't somehow get coated with dust. And I saw a couple guys struggling with that. Even I had that, like my 40+ main. I know I got way offline getting marshaled, and I didn't have the grip to jump the triple, and that's why I crashed on that last one because my tires were spun up.
I wonder if we should paint the exit to pit lane where everybody sits their car down up there. It's like when they sit their car down, it's on the painted surface, and not a whole bunch of, it's on less dust.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, because I sit my car where I sit it because it's on the paint and there's no dust there.
Right.
I just roll my car right out in the groove. That's why I always sit my car there.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Because I don't have anybody to go sit my car down and put it in the groove. So
that's a good idea.
That's probably like the best thing I could find. Now, don't everybody start doing it. That's my thing.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
Okay, short course, dude. So we had 2 heats of short course.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where did that come from?
No, new truck.
Yeah, maybe.
Breathe a little life into the class again.
Yeah. It is kind of cool to see them go through the whoops, though. It's kind of like when I race my Slash.
Mm.
You know? The Slash can do the double single uphill.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I thought it'd been single.
No, well, I mean, if you mess it up, it is. You just got to slug up there.
Yeah.
Mason Templeman with the TQ and win. I thought this was going to be a closer race than it was, but Doug had a really bad early crash, and he fell all the way down to last on the first lap, and then just picked everybody off and ended up getting second. Brendan Edwards, he was in second for most of it. Yeah, he was in second for most of it. He was battling with Sam Ford for second for a while, and I think Brett Nelson also was in that mix. But it ended up being Brendan, Sam, and then Brett Nelson. Tyler Fleming, he's kind of whenever we think of SCT, he's kind of the guy I think of.
Yeah.
So he was in the mix, he was there. In 6th, Rob Sturgill. Eddie Henley, his truck, he bumped up, and then his truck actually looked really good. So he moved up a spot from where he was. But a lot of that starting position, too. If you're kind of stuck in the back there, you got to get really lucky maybe the first or second lap to get around. Chili seemed like he struggled a little bit. And this is kind of his class too. He had to make the bump along with Eddie. And then Dalton Conrad finished 10th. But I don't know. It's pretty cool to see that. But the main was a little anticlimactic. I thought it'd be a lot closer between Mason and Doug and Brendan for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had 17.5 expert. Like I said, Doug LaRiviere got the win. Nate Sutherland and Mason Templeman second and third. Mason and them were tied, so the tiebreaker went to Nate. Riley Filbert kind of pulled it out of his butt there at the end. I know he got a second in the last one, and that bumped him up into fourth. Emerson Sturgeon, my son, got fifth. He was kind of like me in 13.5. He was third in points going into the last main, and he didn't get as good of a last main. He crashed a few times on his own. He kind of told me today he felt like he kind of let that one go, like the last main sort of like there was more, like he should have done better, But still, dude, fifth. I mean, he made the A main at Hobby Action, and then he's fifth here at home. I don't know. I can't be any more proud of him than that. Plus, he did dude, I haven't touched his car.
Yeah.
In like a year. That's all him. So it's really cool. It really is. Zach Aslam and Tyler Hooks, those guys, 6th and 7th. They probably, I think I'm positive that both of them would think that they needed to be up there higher. Tyler Hooks just didn't have a very good starting position because he had to bump, And then Ryan Prince, same thing. Like you said, that last main, I'm pretty sure he got third, and that helped him out quite a bit to move up a few spots. And then Talon Henley and Damon Smith, a couple of the Hoosier guys, making the main, representing. So, I mean, this is a really strong group of stock racers. So, and we had a big class. I think we had almost 40 cars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
I was thinking about putting together a stock buggy.
Really?
Like, I was talking to Zach about it, and I was like, why are you racing mock? And he was like, I'd rather race for wins in stock than race to get into the main and mock.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess I never looked at it that way. And I was following his car down the straightaway, and I was like, oh, is that your 4-wheel drive? He's like, no, this is my 2-wheel. It's like, dude, it's just as fast as my mod car. We're in a 7.0, dude.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't. I thought I was just gonna like yoink him on the straightaway.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, not today.
Mark Schmidt just dropped a $5 super chat. Said everything was awesome. Appreciate the both of you. Oh,
that's nice of him. Thank you, Mark.
Okay, well now let's get into race I'd like to forget. This is 40 and over 2-wheel drive mod. What is it about this race that I can't win this race ever to save my life?
I don't know.
So
it's only at our track.
It's no kidding. So Alan Horn with the win again, I'd like to add. And dude, so I did two things differently. Maybe I don't know. So I put a 5,000 milliamp-hour battery in my car instead of the 4,800. It sits a little taller. It weighs a tiny bit more. I had Emerson go weigh it, and it was 10 grams heavier. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna run this car in the morning, and if I don't like it, I'll just put in my 4,800 and hope for the best. I've made Summer Series 8-minute mains with that 4,800 in my car with no problem. But in the back of my head, I got 2 years ago where my battery died with like 30 seconds left because the battery just took a crap. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to put a new battery in. Well, in the morning I drove it and I'm like, okay, I can feel this battery is actually heavier. It made my car handle a little bit differently. And I was like, it's actually not that bad, right? Well, so the main came around, and I'm out there in the warm-up, and I could really feel it now because the grip was way higher. So I could really feel it. I was like, okay, I think I'm going to be okay. I'll be fine, you know? But I was pretty timid the first couple minutes of this race because I was afraid of it traction rolling, and then it did at like the worst time. I remember in my head, I'm just like, all right, I'm pulling away. I'm going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. And then I flipped it in that really tight uphill dog leg. And then I got like one of the worst marshals on the planet. And then I caught back up and I passed him clean too. It was a dialed pass. And then literally that same lap after that pass, I wrecked in the same spot and I got the second worst marshal on the planet.
It was the exact same marshal. It's like the exact same thing. But
and I was like, son of a bitch. And then I crashed through the whoops after that. And when I got put back down, I was way offline. My tires had a bunch of dirt on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't make the triple, and I crashed in the triple. And then Daniel Bender was off in La La Land, which by this time I'd already lost the race, so it didn't really matter. And I'm just down there staring at my car going, okay. So Bender comes over finally, and he grabs my car and he marshals it, but he points me in the wrong direction. So I had to turn around to get going again. So I lost by 10 seconds. And what's worse is that
my wife just brought down a giant like inflatable thing from our pool in the backyard and threw it in the basement. And she's just like staring at me while she does it. Like, oh, it's raining? Oh, what's it raining, man? All right.
Dude, Alberico almost caught me for a second.
Yeah.
He was only 3 seconds behind, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, who's on the same lap as me? Is that all this crap was going down in like the last couple laps?
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I told Alan after the race, I'm like, I actually don't mind losing in this fashion because at least we were racing and not something stupid happened like last year.
When, what was it when what's his name? Dude, that guy wasn't here.
Yeah, he texted me though. He had to work.
Oh, what's his name?
Brian
Dunbar.
Yeah, Brian and him were battling, and they kind of took each other out, and I went in between them, and then we were racing to the corner, and I barely got touched, and kind of got wonky and bounced off the pipe, and had a tie rod come off. Two tie rods come off actually.
Yeah. What? It came completely off.
Like
not one side. Like
yeah. Yeah, and then the year before that, my battery died.
Yeah.
And then the year before that was the smack track race where I just blew it.
Yeah.
So Alan beat me there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
At least I won at Hobby Action last year, though. I still got that going for me.
Yeah.
So good job, Alan.
Watching all the truck racing made me want to get a truck again.
Yeah.
But.
Good job, Alan Horn.
Yeah.
One of these days. Alberico finally raced 40 plus at the Plex.
Yeah. It was like first time for everything, right?
Yeah. Yep.
He probably looked at it as more wheel time on the
That's what he told me. He said, I just want more track time. So
like I would do that if I could. Obviously, I'm only racing one class right now.
Yeah. Rico was fourth. Brian Burnt, pretty good. 5th place.
Yeah.
Mac Vanderbeek, James Nelson, Rob Sturgill, Orlando, and Craig O'Brien. I mean, that's kind of the normal 40-plus group.
Yeah. Right.
Independent 2-wheel drive. Andrew Thomas again with the TQ and win. Nobody touched him in this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was gonna call him Iceman, but is that too cliche? He's like ice cold out there. Like he doesn't really crack. I mean, he's almost beat me on a club night in 13.5 wheeler.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I mean, I don't know. So good job, Andrew.
Yeah.
If these guys go to Hoosier and they go to Hobby Action again, they'll be in points. I think a few of them are talking about that again, doing the
Yeah.
trifecta there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Are you gonna go to any of them this year?
dude, I'm gonna be flat broke after the Worlds.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I'm planning on going to the Chili Bowl. That's my big wing ding.
Yeah.
Because that one's gonna be an expensive one, I think.
I plan on I'm doing the Worlds, and then I plan on going to the Fast Lane race in November. I've never been to that race. I keep getting invited. I'm going to go ahead and do it this year.
In November?
But I should be able to stay at like Matt's house.
Right, or Chad Park's house.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I should be able to do it on the cheap.
Man, maybe I should get a 4-wheel drive then.
Maybe.
Because I like that race. I've always been. I did really good in 2-wheel.
Yeah.
I think last time I went after 2-wheel was over, I was like 3rd.
Yeah.
Or something.
I'll just keep a 13.5 in my car too.
Oh yeah, yeah. For that track,
Yeah.
you probably get away with it.
So back to independent buggy.
I get invited to that every year. It's
I know. Back to 2-wheel real quick. Independent 2-wheel. We got only a couple mains to go here. Bo Hall got a really good finish. Qualified 6th, finished 2nd. Owen Bobany qualified 5th and got back up to 3rd overall.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was John Berdine. Dalton Conrad still got the podium. He qualified 2nd, but still got the podium on there. Brett Nelson, Casey Ford, again, these guys had a really good weekend. Chris Mueller, he was the camera guy for Matt Olson.
Yeah. Yep.
Brody McHugh, and then Cameron Bullard wasn't there. I think they left for the main. But, dude, Andrew rocking the independent class again. I mean, he's one of the there's the boys. There's 4 of them, and 2 of them got picked up last year.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that'll make some noise.
Yeah.
And then we had mod 2-wheel drive, and last year's TQ and win Dustin Evans ended up 2nd because Brock Champlin he got the win in 2, correct?
Yes.
Am I right about that?
Yeah, he did in 2-wheel. Yeah.
So.
Yep.
We were handing out the awards, and he's like, I love getting the TQ plaque and blowing out the lead, because he got 2nd in 4-wheel.
Yeah.
But then he got the win in 2-wheel. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But it was the same. No, go for it. Go ahead.
I talked to all those guys. I was like, so do you guys is this a lot more enjoyable experience than last time you were here with the, because we started on treads and then we went to slicks, and they're like, yeah, when did you guys go to slicks? Because Brock brought nothing but treads, and I was like, the moment that I put that set of silver smoothies on my 2-wheel and had Jason drive my car in 40 plus to see if they're any good, that was the moment this was a slick tire track.
Yeah.
Because then everybody changes slicks after that.
Pretty much since the INS race last year,
that was the moment.
All of us, we don't run treads at all anymore.
Yeah, when this guy put slicks on his car, that was the moment.
Yeah.
That was the moment.
That was the moment.
Yeah, and that's what I told. And it's like they're like, yeah, this is super easy now. You just come here. You know what we need to bring, just like everywhere else.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, yep. There you go. I thought you'd be happy about that.
That's good. Yeah, all those guys were pretty chill. I talked to Cavalieri on the driver's stand. He's like, this place is awesome. He's like, it's like racing an 8 scale.
Yeah.
It's so big and open and fun, and it's still a 10 scale track, but it's big.
Yeah.
And he's like, I already know what to expect at the driver's stand and all that. And
mm-hmm.
Because that sometimes can be something that throws people that have never been here for a loop, is the size, the height of our driver's stand.
Yeah.
But I think all these guys they don't seem to care now, I guess.
Right.
Dustin Evans, last year's champ in 2-wheel drive, finished 2nd, and then Aiden Horn was 3rd. And it's the same guys in 4-wheel, top 3, just in a different order.
Yeah.
Tom Rindernecht with a 4th. Ryan Cavalieri with a 5th. His 2-wheel drive looked really good. Matthew Gonzalez was 6th. Alex Vanderbeek from the bump, he got up to 7th in the overall standings. Boy, he was really fast in qualifying, and then dumb stuff would happen. Just dumb crashes, and it kept him from going straight to the A main, maybe getting a better starting position.
Right.
Lee Setzer was 8th. Chase Lemieux was 9th. Aiden Olson made the main without any extra work.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty awesome because he got, what, 4th or 5th the last round of qualifying?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It was pretty awesome.
And he only got 2 because his stripped spurgeon or something in the second qualifier.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he got it done in 2. That was awesome.
Yeah. And then Nick Gibson, same thing. He went straight to the A main, qualifying 8th. So it's pretty awesome. Pretty good. That's a really good crop of 2 mod drivers too.
Right.
It's pretty sick. And then I think, stadium truck. Oof. So Owen Vanderbeek with the win. His truck was really fast the whole time, right? The whole time, all 8 minutes. TJ Williams got 2nd, and he drove an awesome main. Started 7th, and just sort of just kind of did his thing, and then at the end he was there and got 2nd. Brendan Edwards was 3rd. Talon Henley made the bump and then was in 4th, but I think, if I remembered right, I think he was battling for the win there with these guys. Yeah. So they got it figured out, and then he got the bump, and then he drove all the way up there, and I'm pretty sure that these guys were battling it out for the win. I think he was in 2nd until like the very last lap. So Talon came out of nowhere too and started in the back. In an 8-minute race, obviously it makes sense you can do that. Daniel Bender was 5th. Matt Olson was 6th, and Andrew Thomas was 7th. But these guys, like Daniel and Matt, I'm pretty sure they jumped the tabletop like as far as they could, and they crossed. I remember watching it and watching the computer to make sure that the timing picked them up, and it did. It picked them up, and because the finish to this thing was crazy. Andrew Thomas finished 7th. Dustin Hosick, he deserves to finish higher than this. He qualified 5th, but he was battling for a TQ there for a little bit.
The thing that's really funny is that truck he's running is the one he bought from Wade.
Yeah.
He's never done anything to it.
Yeah.
And that truck has my truck setup on it.
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
Like, and that thing is good. It's like nothing special.
Yeah.
Like, remember when we were at Hobby Action and all the locals were like, "Let me see your truck." And I'm like, dude, it's not anything special. Like, you're gonna be mad. Like I had none of the updates on it. Like, it's like, dude, this thing just works. Like, I haven't touched it.
Yeah. Dalton
No
Conrad.
pucks, no nothing.
Dalton Conrad was 9th, and then Emerson Sturgeon ended up finishing 10th. Kind of the same deal as the Summer Series, although Emerson did crash on the 2nd lap, but he did make it back to the lead, and then his truck started to get slow. It's the same thing that happened last round. We changed motors, and they thought that maybe it was just the motor because we had borrowed a motor, and it ended up smoking like down the straightaway, and then it came to a stop. So I feel really bad for
What motor was it? Or who did you borrow a motor from?
Josh Havens. It was an old Phantom 13.5.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was what he ran at the Summer Series, and then I took the R1 out of my 13.5 buggy because I got a new motor, a freshie, and then I gave this one to Emerson for his truck.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just kind of gave up. But I feel really bad for Emerson because he kind of owns. I don't know. Kind of owns like truck should be his class, you know? So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh well. Not worried about it.
Right.
That truck's in pieces now anyway, so.
Yeah, he's definitely your kid.
Emerson pulled
That's
an
exactly
Alex.
I was like, I came in the booth, I was like, all right, don't look at Emerson's truck, but he's definitely your kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I was working on your 4-wheel drive, and it was
Uh.
on the on the floor in your pit. And I was like, oh, I picked it up and I put it on the pit table. It's like stuff's hanging off of it. And I sit it on the pit table, and I leave, and I like to go take your car over to Albrico's, and I come back and it's on the floor again. And I was like, dude, I'm trying not to trip all over this thing.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah. That's funny. Oh well. Yeah. That truck's kind of old anyways. Yeah. I'll just fix it and sell it. I'll put it on eBay.
He's not gonna race truck anymore?
Nobody will know the difference. I don't know.
Is he gonna get a new one? I
don't know what we're gonna do. I gotta talk to him. We got a super chat, and I'd love to talk about that. But I'm gonna get through Mini Truggy first, and then we'll talk about that. So,
who's the super chat from?
It's from Ronnie Wint.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so Mini Truggy, Don Drews, getting a win. It's been a while since he's won a big event in anything. So that was pretty cool. His truck was really fast. Dylan Hartshorn's truck was a little faster, but unfortunately, Dylan popped a ball cup about midway through this race. And no, he popped it on like lap 3.
Mm-hmm.
And he got it. The marshal snapped it back on for him really fast. Didn't seem to bother. He didn't miss. You know, people could say you're not supposed to do that, but I don't know if a car's not going to flip in front of you and you got time to snap a tie rod on, I don't really have a problem with that. So he got put back on. He didn't lose a lap, and then he drove all the way back up to second. He was one of the only ones doing the triple-double consistently with Mini Truggy.
Yeah.
So he got back up there. John Haas with a great finish for him, getting the podium, the third. Tyler Fleming, another guy I usually think about with this class, was fourth, and Matt Robinson, fifth. Todd Gabriel had a pretty good run. Cal Kendrick, Michael Davis, Dylan Haas, and then unfortunately Ronnie's truck broke. But I added Mini Truggy because we have such a good local turnout that I didn't want them to miss out again.
Yeah.
On that. So that's it. That's the results.
They had a good field of cars too. It wasn't like they only had like 5.
Yeah, there was 2 heats, 2 full heats. So this is fine.
It was worth racing it.
Okay, so here's Ronnie's super chat, and I'm going to explain this one. So what are the rules on Indy drivers running Plex and complaining about new drivers running vastly underpowered cars that are normally legal? So
wait, what?
What are the rules on Indy drivers running Plex and complaining about new drivers running vastly underpowered cars that are normally legal?
Okay.
So basically, my rule for Plex spec at events like this is that it's 2-wheel drive only.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been a long-standing rule for a long time. So I usually put it on the flyer. Like ProTech Race Flyer will always say 2-wheel drive only. I used to have an age limit too, but I took that away because guys like Steve and stuff, I don't want them to be, intimidated even by running, independent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he had a friend show up with him. They prepared a car for him and everything, and he ran his first qualifier. And he did really well, and then it kind of dawned on me. I was like, oh, crap, that's a 4-wheel drive buggy. And so I just told Ronnie, I'm like, hey, man, I'm probably just going to put him in the B tomorrow, like just because he's running a 4-wheel drive car. And this goes back to my son and Aiden Olson getting hosed. Totally hosed.
I told that story to a guy, too. Because somebody said something to me about it, and it's like, dude, like, Alex is. I said I get it because Emerson got ruined at the last
Hobby Haven race
we went to when they the track was so slick it was like driving on a polished concrete floor.
Yeah.
And one kid, the kid that won,
it was Easton. It was Easton McCormick.
I know. And of course those guys are like, yeah, man, he's the best there ever was and ever will be. And it's like, dude, you guys are like cheating and nobody's saying anything.
Yeah, it's like the rules. The flyers said 2-wheel drive only for the Hobby Haven race. So, and that's when Emerson and Aiden were battling in Plex spec with 4-wheel drive, because in Plex spec, normally in Plex spec at the Summer Series, I don't really give a shit. You can run whatever you want as long as it's not an 8 scale. And so I made an SCTE, my old SCTE. I gave to Emerson and said, "Here you go. Here's your Plex spec ride. This thing ain't gonna break, you know."
Yeah.
And you're going to have traction for days, so go have at it. And then Aiden Olson, David, he got a associated 4-wheel drive short course truck to compete with Emerson that year. And then Chase Hendrickson did the same thing. So these 3 boys, they were racing 4-wheel drives. So then we saw the flyer for the Hobby Haven race. We're like, well, crap, we don't have a 2-wheel drive. So we all made 2-wheel drive vehicles specifically to go to Hobby Haven race and race that. And then come main day, a 4-wheel drive beats us, even though it said on the flyer 2-wheel drive only.
Right.
And David and I were both pissed. We're like, "What the fuck, man? Like this is bullshit. We played by your rules, and now you're just gonna let this dude win." And I didn't know Ashley back then very well. You know, we do now. We're all friends. We laugh about this stuff, but back then I was pretty salty. I was like, "This sucks. Like I don't even know if I'm gonna come back."
Yeah.
You know. And then the shootout, the short course shootout one year, it was supposed to be 17.5 only, and this kid that and we included Plex spec, and this kid that won Plex spec had a 13.5 in his car. Yeah. And I brought it up to Scotty, and Scotty's like, "What do you want me to do? DQ him?" And I'm like, "I mean, maybe it's against the rules, like, you know." So that's all I was trying to avoid. I don't think anybody complained about that I know of. It was just something that I saw, and I wanted to get in front of it because I didn't want to have the same thing happen where
really?
You've got half the field of Plex speckers that are running 2-wheel drive get beat by a 4-wheel drive car, even though he's new. I get it. It's just I was trying to get in front of that. That's all.
Yeah. And when one of the guys talked to me about it, it was way after the fact. Like it was on Sunday.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, it was on Sunday.
Yeah.
And it was like, I get it. Like, I can see both sides of it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah, it had a really slow motor in it.
There's a 21.5 in it. It still did 10 laps though.
Yeah. And so it's like, actually, it's kind of like, hey, look what this guy's doing. Slowing his car way down, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys are probably running way too fast the car for you guys.
Put a 21.5 in it and then see what happens.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I can see both sides of it. Like, yeah, you guys brand new, just wanting to come participate. And, they had didn't they have another vehicle for them to run?
Chris Ida gave him a slash, so.
Yeah. So, I mean, it kind of worked out.
Yeah.
But, I bet the guy that was driving the slash after he drove that 4-wheel drive buggy was like, "Man, this
sucks. This thing sucks.
Give me back the 4-wheel drive.
Give me that 4-wheel drive back.
I ain't gonna do this ever again."
Yeah, give me that 4-wheel drive back.
But I can definitely see both sides of it.
I know, yeah. But I had to be like,
mm-hmm.
We had this happen to me and Aiden Olson back in the day when they were kids.
Yeah. It's a tough position to be in.
So,
yeah.
Anyways, we'll go back to regular club racing next week, and everything will be fine.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that guy ends up getting a car and coming out to race with us, though. I mean, that'd be cool. Hopefully he's not like discouraged, like, "Oh, these guys take it way too seriously."
Yeah, I wasn't even inferring that. I didn't even infer that anybody said anything.
This is after everything went down.
Yeah, I'm the one who said something.
Yeah. Right.
So,
I think the guys, they're the guy that I talked to about it was just kind of venting.
Yeah. Oh well. So there you go. That's my explanation for that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even a controversy that I knew of. It was just something I was like, hey, we're supposed to be 2-wheel drive at these things.
Yeah.
So We'll go through comments unless you got something else to add.
Nope.
All right. 'Cause it's 8:30 and we started a little late, so
Yeah.
don't want to keep these guys here too long.
Mm-hmm.
Rob the Mouth Millin, Pacific Northwest TLR in the house. Missed you guys. He's sharing the screen with some racers from SoCal Coyote RC. That's Bada's track, correct?
Yeah. They race
Baby?
oval there now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Says
I
fishing.
guess this weekend there's some big dirt oval nationals in California.
Oh, really?
Wish I could have gone to that. That'd been cool.
Said fishing is badass. I got to post my results from fishing today. I caught a pretty big catfish. I was pretty stoked about that.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to the same spot I went to last week. Steve RC says Saturday morning the news reporter marshaled a car. He was the only one track marshaling at the time, and they were on the other end of the track. Yeah, I saw him jump out there. They were doing a live spot. So not only did you get on the 10 p.m. news, then they came Saturday morning and did another spot.
Oh, really?
A live spot.
And they used my clips again?
Yeah, I did. I had it up and I was watching it, and that was pretty cool. That was a lot of exposure for us. I think that brought out a lot of spectators.
I think we did it. Yeah, we had a lot of people watching.
I had a lot of people I didn't recognize that were watching the races.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that really did do something for us. So hopefully that leads to some new Friday nighters or something.
Yeah.
Peter Renault, we were talking about the Canada thing. He's like, please come liberate us. I can't tell if he's being sarcastic or not.
Blink twice for yes, once for no. Yeah. 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 I don't know. Well, we'll just dedicate 51% of every podcast to Canada, then you can keep watching.
Yeah.
Like, that's all we got to do, right?
I think so.
This is a Canadian Buddy Guy production.
Steve RC says, with TLR not doing a stadium truck anymore, what do you think about the longevity of stadium truck, not just at the Plex, but across the country?
They're not doing a truck no more?
No, they discontinued their truck and their short course truck.
What?
Yeah, TLR's not making their truck or short course truck anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they going to make a new one?
I don't think so. You didn't know about that?
No.
That's been on the book face for like 3 months now since they discontinued them.
Oh, that's too bad.
Everybody's like, when they come out with the new one, and they keep getting, they're not. So, I bet you they'll come out with a stadium truck eventually. Whenever they come out with a new car.
Yeah.
Because it's about due. Because the Elite's been out since 2019. So we're working on 4 years now, which is good. I'm actually okay with that. If I kind of miss the days where we had a car for a couple years without a new car coming out every year.
Yeah.
But 4 years is a long time in today's world. Like, there's been a lot of advances in everything, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So I bet you they come out with a truck, at least a stadium truck again, at some point. I just hope they don't make the body look like it's a freaking monster truck. That TLR body, that stock TLR body looks like it sits like as tall as like a clodbuster.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's when you like have to get a JConcept body and put it on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks nice and sleek and low. But yeah, I don't see stadium truck going anywhere. Associated's got such a good truck that if people aren't dedicated to one brand, they'll just get that one. I mean, even X-Ray still has a truck. X-Ray's got a truck.
Yeah. I think they update it along with their two-wheel every year, too.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Nuthouse says, what do you think of the Associated MT-12 monster truck?
It's cool. Like, I want one to go camping with.
Yeah, we haven't sold any yet. There's still 3 sitting up there. I'm pretty bummed out. I thought we'd sell at least one right away.
Oh, is that like the little truck?
Yeah. It's not little. It's not
no,
little. It's kind of, it's 12 scale, so it's kind of in between. It's kind of like a lunchbox, size of a lunchbox.
Oh, I meant the big scale monster truck.
Oh no, this is the little
The
one.
rival one.
Yeah, that's not the rival. It's like, oh, you can't. That doesn't translate well, but whatever.
Yeah, but,
Marjorie Sturgeon, my sister, says, "Yay! I super enjoyed checking everyone in. My favorite part was putting faces to names of all the names you hear when you do race results in the show."
Mm-hmm.
And then we get into the part where we were talking about Saturday mains, and pretty much every single person on here said they definitely would not want to do Saturday mains. So there you go. I think we have that one covered. No Saturday mains.
Yeah,
It's
I just don't think there's
an
a lot.
idea.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea. I just don't think there's a lot to gain. It's not like the Reedy race, where they do a lot of the lower mains on Saturday.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is true.
There, it makes sense. You're pretty much dropping a day by doing that. Anyway.
Steve RC has a good. Actually, this is a pretty good idea. He's like, Friday's qualifying start with the pro classes first, and then all the Indy classes last, so that if the people are working, they can come later.
Maybe.
It's not a terrible idea.
No.
John Haas says that he sat by Chase Lemieux. Says he's a good kid.
Oh yeah.
Steve RC to Alex Pro. Oh, that's right. Alex TQ'd the Pro Tech race, but he got second to I think Ryan Nemec, or maybe Max. Can't remember who won. It was either Max or Ryan.
Yeah.
Anthony Santi was there on Sunday. He even volunteer corner marshaled a few times. Said he had a great time watching. Might have to enter next year.
There you go.
Steve RC says Andrew Thomas is cool as a cucumber. He wants to know, did he miss... Anthony wants to know if he missed a Mini B race. We didn't do one this year. I didn't advertise one, so we didn't do one. We probably could have, but I think we ran late on Sunday, so I'm kind of glad we didn't do anything like that.
Yeah.
Nuthouse says maybe set a max motor for the Plex and four-wheel drive. They're actually running a 25.5 in that four-wheel drive car.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but then the problem is you. I don't want a tech Plex back. I just want people to go upstairs and buy a car and come down, regardless of what it is, as long as it's a 10-scale car. I don't want to have to sit there and, tell somebody they got to buy a $100 motor or anything to race. I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible.
Yeah, right.
And then Bill Grieve was just here. I hope everyone had a great experience. Thanks to everyone that helped make a great event. He had a great time at the INS. And, Caden brought his, and Talon Henley brought theirs, and they ran it a few times, their mini Bs out on the track. But we didn't actually have, like, a race this time.
Yeah.
So, that's it. We got into a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we did. Action-packed.
2
hour. A
hour
lot of content on this one, boys.
2 hour show.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. There's a lot to get to since we're doing these once a month.
Yeah.
So, what do we got next? There's a Summer Series race on the 29th.
Yeah.
The Truck Series.
Depending on
Truck Series before that on the 22nd.
Yeah. Depending on what's going on this weekend at home, I may go race dirt oval.
Cool.
On Saturday.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I am going to.
For outdoor.
I am now going to pretty much try to not spend any money at all. From this point on, I think I have enough tires left over from this race and unmounted tires to last me for the Summer Series. So, I might even try to order some cool stuff from JConcepts for my next team order. Maybe some bodies or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably get some bodies for the Worlds.
Yeah.
But shoot, dude. I think I'm just gonna focus on the next 2 rounds of the Summer Series because I won't be there for the last one. And try not to spend a whole lot of money on stuff so I can make it to the Worlds.
When is the last round of the Summer Series?
September 9th.
Okay.
Yeah.
I may have to go out of town for work that week.
Okay.
I don't know. It's sometime in September that I may have to go out of town for work.
Okay.
But if I'm here, I'll do it.
Okay.
So we'll make it work.
Well, hopefully, I mean, I still got Emerson and I still got Tom.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll try to have
It'll work.
everything set up. This is the thing is Margie and I are going to leave on Thursday because we're driving.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. We'll make it work.
Yeah. Cool. I do have a My Morning Jacket concert that my wife and I are going to in August at Red Rocks.
Oh yeah.
But we got that planned like way back in February. So
yeah,
I'm not going to see them. So I am going to go on that trip, but it's only going to be 2 days. So, but besides that, I'm going to try to not spend any money on anything major. I say try, but
right.
I'll make it work either way. All right. Well, let's get out of here. Let these guys here at the Weberized get home.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah.
Thanks for being my friend. Thanks for being my co-host.
Oh yeah, no problem.
All right.
You know me.
Yep. I'm glad you made the B.
Yeah. Wish I was in the A.
Yeah. All right. See ya.
Oh, this is a Buddy Guy Canada production. 30%. Okay, are we out?
You get it.